Today on Fresno State Focus, what the Armenian Studies program is doing to honor the 100th anniversary of the Armenian Genocide.
Also, how local game store Crazy Squirrel makes Friday night the best night of the week.
Plus, Fresno State's equestrian team rides with pride after winning their conference championship. Hello and welcome to Fresno State Focus. I'm Ciclali Ocampo.
And I'm Rodney Matthews.
War correspondent Peter Arnett visited Fresno State this morning to talk about his experiences while covering the Vietnam War. Arnett shared spectacular photos that he took as a correspondent for the Associated Press. He talked about his interactions with presidents and generals and how the Vietnam War was the last uncensored war for American media. In an interview after the lecture, we asked Arnett how journalism has changed.
The public is better off being able to tweet and communicate in a way that they couldn't do before. But that doesn't remove the need for excellent journalism and the basic principles of accuracy, truth, and freedom.
Arnett's appearance during today's Titanium Symposium coincides with the fall of Saigon 40 years ago in 2 weeks.
This year marks the 100th anniversary of the Armenian Genocide, and the Armenian Studies program is putting on an exhibit to honor that. On Friday, I had a chance to see the exhibit, and I definitely learned a lot about Armenian history. The Armenian Genocide, a Centennial Exhibit, is an exhibit created by the Armenian Studies program to honor those who lost their lives during this horrific time. The exhibit opened with a reception on Monday night and had plenty of people in attendance. Marine Vardanian is a DJ here on campus for the Armenian radio show who also helped set up the event. She tells us what to expect.
Displays of photographs, of information that'll show what happened during the genocide. It'll focus on refugees and the process of what the Ottoman Turks did and how other people helped the Armenians. And it'll also lead back to the Fresno connection and show how there's immigration to Fresno and the story of Fresno Armenians.
Fresno State is also building an Armenian Genocide monument, which is being worked on as we speak in front of the Satellite Student Union. Professor Barlo Dera-Margarichian is the head of the Armenian Studies program, and he says the exhibit has three main purposes: to educate, to commemorate, and to inspire.
Genocide, and then to inspire future generations to be politically active in the sense of going out and making sure that when we see injustice taking place, that people are active in voicing their opinions so that genocides don't occur again.
Now, even though the exhibit was for the history of the Armenians, everyone from the event mentioned one common theme: that the message is still for every student of every race. The exhibit focuses mostly on the Armenian church and the martyrs who were killed during this period, but it also showcases the newly released iconic images of the Armenian Genocide. Michael Reddick talks about what this means to him as an Armenian student.
To educate the other students, a lot of my peers will be coming through the library, and they'll be able to walk through the timeline and see kind of where we've been and what our ancestors went through, and why that's important and relevant for the rest of the world.
The exhibit is located on the second floor of the library and will run till May 29th. Here with more on the commemoration of the anniversary is Armenian Studies professor Sergio Laporta. Thanks for joining us today, Professor.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking me.
So how was the opening day of the exhibit?
The opening was actually really remarkable. We had a much larger than expected crowd of over 150 people, and everybody seemed impressed with the collection of documents, photographs, and pictures that we were able to assemble. And there was a great team working on putting that exhibition together, so we were very pleased with the turnout. President Castro was also there, which was a great honor, so it was great to see him there. So it was a really lovely occasion.
That's great. Now, what are some of the events and upcoming speakers that we have to look forward to?
Sure, this is going to be a very packed few weeks. But the big events that are coming up are on April 23rd at 7:30 p.m. We'll be unveiling of the Armenian Genocide Monument. The community has come together, and we're very proud that Fresno State will be the home of this monument that will be on the Maple Mall. The unveiling will take place there at 7:30 p.m. There will be guests from various representatives of the various communities of the Central Valley. And that'll happen on the Thursday night, and then on Friday is the actual commemoration of the 100th anniversary of the genocide. And there will again be a commemoration service at 7 p.m. at St. Paul Armenian Church, and earlier in the day there'll be flag raising at City Hall at 9 a.m.
That's great. Now, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Very pleased to be here. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing everybody from Fresno State at our upcoming events.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a few weeks ago, a video was released showing members of the Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity from the University of Oklahoma singing a racist chant. Because of this, not only was the SAE house shut down within a few hours of the video's discovery, but 2 members were also expelled. Jasan Steinman tells us how Fresno State has reacted to this incident.
It's 2015 and racism is still alive, especially after the University of Oklahoma shocked the nation with this leaked video. The fraternity Sigma Alpha Epsilon chanting racist remarks. Criminal justice major Natalie Hernandez can't believe what she is seeing.
It's pretty disgusting. I think it's sad. It's really sad because fraternities are about family and unity and accepting everyone. Exactly. Like our frat, we accept everybody. We're like a little family, and that's kind of disappointing.
Students say Fresno State is a very diverse community. Because of that, the event in Oklahoma would never happen here. This is not the first time the SAE has received negative coverage nationally. The Fresno State's SAE president, Peter Winters, says he doesn't think it was done to hurt anyone, but he thinks it's wrong.
I believe the intent was not malice, but it turned out to be, because fun of that magnitude where it's all poorly constructed, ill intent is malice.
Student Involvement Coordinator Eddie Dominguez says having a good relationship with students can avoid events like this one.
As much as you would like to say that it'll never happen around you, that's something that's not in your control in the first place. And so I'm hoping that you have provided some good models of leadership and good models of ethics.
Since the incident, both students leading the chant have apologized and say they did not make it up, but it was taught to them at a national leadership event. Jasan Steinman's Fresno State Focus.
April is Autism Awareness Month. Organizations like the Fresno State Women's Lacrosse Team and the Fresno Grizzlies are doing their part to raise awareness. Reporter Elisa Bernal tells us more.
When you talk with Ezekiel Belcher, you notice that he's a typical 10-year-old boy who loves to run around and play sports. But to those who don't know him, you wouldn't know that he has pervasive developmental disorder, which is on the autism spectrum. Both of his parents want individuals to see kids like their son as human, not by the label that's placed on them by society. At 18 months, Ezekiel's parents noticed that something was off. They searched for an answer for years and did not rest until they got a diagnosis. The Belchers went to speech therapists, specialists, and doctors they had never heard of. Zeke's diagnosis came when he was 5 years old. His mom, Christine, believes that these challenges he's had to face will benefit him in the long run.
And these challenges that he's had to face every step of the way are creating this person that has such compassion and sensitivity for others that it's going to help him go far in his life.
With April being Autism Awareness Month, organizations like the Fresno State Women's Lacrosse Team and the Fresno Grizzlies are doing their part to raise awareness by playing entire games in the name of autism awareness.
The Autism Center at Fresno State provides services for children ages 18 months to 6 years old, but they also provide services for older children if needed.
Executive Director of the Fresno State Autism Center says the center is available for families who need help.
And so our intervention really targets their deficits through a lot of praise, what we call reinforcement, and trying to create a positive environment to increase skills that are just not there.
Ezekiel is a thriving young man who is headed for a bright future thanks to a supportive family. He loves visiting his best friends Chip and Dale at Disneyland along with seeing all the other characters. Zeke also loves multiple sports, but he has 3 favorites.
It got to be hockey, baseball, or basketball.
There will be a 5K run put on by the Fresno State Autism Center on April 25th. Lisa Bernal, Fresno State Focus.
The 24th annual Fresno State's First Nations Powwow took place this Saturday. I got a chance to stop by the event to see how it brings people together. Garrison Titman, one of the dancers who performed at Fresno State's powwow, has been dancing for 18 years. He says he is proud of his heritage and enjoys sharing it with others. However, his work does not end once he leaves the arena.
Outside of this, I'm a builder. I make stuff. All of this that I'm wearing is me.
Every bird feather, eagle bone, and even stone has not only been researched and collected by the veteran dancer, but it also holds a special meaning. Titman says he takes great pride in his regalia.
Attending a powwow, it's important to keep in mind the proper term for the clothing is regalia, not costume, as that can be considered offensive.
Over 20 tribes participated in the all-day event, which was held at O'Neill Park. Several different dances were performed, each with its own significance. First Nations President Andres Fierro says preparation for next year's powwow begins the day after the event. He says there's a reason why it's held at Fresno State.
A lot of people won't go up to the rancherias or won't feel like they're invited to be a part of the powwow there. But here at Fresno State, we look at this as a learning classroom where people from the community can come in and learn about the tradition, the culture, the history, see the dancing and the drumming and the music, and start asking questions and dialogue.
The purpose of the powwow is not only to educate people, but also to bring them together. For some, the powwow is a big family reunion. Former dancer Josie Lewis is one of those people and says watching from the crowd gives her a different feeling than performing did.
Let's say if you're in an angry mood, watching the kids, you just get like this warm feeling and like your problems go away.
In addition to dancing, there was also traditional food and crafts sold at the powwow. Titman and Lewis say they would both like to see the powwow continue to grow and hope next year's will attract even more people.
Friday Night Magic has been a weekly tradition for many years in which people all over the world gather to take part in Magic the Gathering tournaments. Fresno State Focus reporter Matthew Criswell tells us how a local game store is supporting the event.
All right, drafters, get 3 tables and 9.
Friday Night Magic, or FNM as some call it, is something that people around the world look forward to every week. It is a night that they can gather together with a like-minded community of gamers. Luis Sandoval says he attends the tournament at Crazy Squirrel Games so he can meet new people and have fun with others who enjoy the same things as he does.
Yeah, I get to meet new people and just kind of interact with other people, so it's pretty fun.
If you go to Crazy Squirrel Games, located on Bullard near First, on any given Friday, then you will most likely see close to 50 people, if not more, participating in the tournament and hanging out with friends. Kirk Dunkel, an employee at Crazy Squirrel, says that he really enjoys seeing people have the opportunity to come hang out and play.
I've played Magic on and off since I was like 12, because my father's been on. And so, yeah, it's fun to see people come out here and play what they love.
Friday Night Magic is not the only thing that Crazy Squirrel Games has to offer, however. There are also various board game nights and other events. Many people don't realize that there's a thriving gaming store right around the corner from Fresno State, where people come to be a part of a gaming community, not only play card games, but board games as well. Crazy Squirrel Games owner Jennifer Ward says these tournaments are important not only for the people playing, but also for the game itself.
Although I don't oversee the Magic tournaments anymore, we've got great skilled employees who can do that. But Friday Night Magic is an important part of Magic. Organized play in general is important for any game. So yeah, we hope to continue to do it forever.
As long as there are people that want to get together to play Magic and other games, Crazy Squirrel will continue to have their doors open. Matthew Criswell, Fresno State Focus.
Coming up on Fresno State, white hats weren't the only thing that drew crowds to downtown Clovis for Big Hat Days.
Plus, a look into our 5-day forecast as things start to heat up in the valley. All that when we come back.
Massive collection. The Save Mart Center, which is our sports venue and one of the best attended in the entire country. We're absolute pioneers in the agricultural sciences, having led to the production of the first university winery and drawing in a diversity of students to achieve academic success over the past 100 years. And you know, I wish I had time to tell you about everything else, but in reality, I think you're just going to have to come see for yourself.
Well, it's starting to feel a lot like spring. We've been seeing some beautiful sunny skies and a lot warmer temperatures. It's been kind of hot out here, but we had beautiful weather for this weekend's Grizzly games. Very sunny out there. And taking a look at our national map, we're not seeing too much here in the central part of the nation, but over here on the East Coast, we are seeing a little bit of activity, as well as here in southern Texas. Here in the valley, a lot of sunshine, nothing much other than a few light winds as we've been enjoying these past few days, and it's been very lovely. So taking a look at our air quality, good air quality throughout the Central Valley, Fresno, Tulare, as well as Kern County and Kings County. So taking a look at our 5-day forecast, today we had a high of 76 degrees. Our low tonight will be 49, as well as Thursday and Friday we will be in the mid to high 80s. But coming in on the weekend, unfortunately, we are going to be in the 90s. It's going to get a little hot out here, but it's going to be the perfect excuse to get away to the beach. So that is your weather. Now to your entertainment news with Angelica.
And spring activities were in full effect this weekend, and I had the chance to join in on the fun when I attended the 77th annual Big Hat Days in downtown Clovis.
Big hats, cowboy hats, crazy hats, and ball caps. Big Hat Days is billed as the largest 2-day festival in Central California. Some people come for the hats and the crafts, and for others, it's all about the food.
We have 42 food vendors.
Fran Blackney with the Clovis Chamber of Commerce says more than 140,000 people attend Big Hat Days. And when it comes to the food, there's something for everyone.
You can come get fresh baked cobbler with ice cream on them, fried wonton tacos, I know it's virgin pina coladas and fresh pineapples, cheesecake on a stick dipped in chocolate.
And the list goes on. One favorite is Sweetie's Candy. Rosa DeLeon and her husband Art started the business 4 years ago as a hobby.
The minute that we brought it out to actually the Clovis Farmers Market, it just exploded.
Today, I'm learning how to make one of Sweetie's top sellers that has the customers coming back. Their exclusive flavor, strawberry banana.
The DeLeons give a percentage of the proceeds from selling the cotton candy back to the community. That and seeing people react to the unique flavors is what makes it all worth it.
There's nothing like watching the kids and their faces when they taste the cotton candy, but not just that, even the older people.
Faces like baby Jameson. His mom says she's glad she can share this tradition with him.
It's Jameson's first time to Big Hat Days, and I think it's just a great experience for everyone to experience at least once.
Just one example of what Sweetie's does for the community. On Sunday, Fresno police officer Edgar Sandoval died of pancreatic cancer, and Sweetie's Candy donated all of their earnings to the officer's family. And Old Town Clovis continues the fun this weekend for the 21 and over crowd by hosting its first ever beer crawl. Various shops around Old Town will feature 19 craft beers from local breweries with special beers made just for this event. And a black pot cook-off along with other fun events starts at noon this Sunday, and the crawl takes off from 2 to 5 p.m. Tickets are still available at oldtownclovis.org, or you can purchase the tickets the day of. And also happening right here this weekend at Fresno State, the Experimental Theater Company is putting on the play Blue Heart. And the play takes you on a journey where both acts are completely different, but the outcome of the message is the same. The student's director is theater major Austin Ybarra. Blue Hearts runs this weekend at the Lab School Theater Building. Performances start Friday at 4 p.m. and 8 p.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., and Sunday at 2. And if you're looking to showcase your vocal talent, then tomorrow night is your night to shine. Fresno State's USU is hosting its annual karaoke night at the Bucket here on campus. The event kicks off at 7 p.m. and the first 30 students there will receive a $5 food voucher. There will also be drawings throughout the night where you can have a chance to win fun prizes. The event is free to all students. And that's it for entertainment. Back to you, Siklali.
For the first time ever, Fresno State will hold its own Mass Communications and Journalism Week. And CJ Week was put together by advanced students in the Public Relations class. With us today is Public Relations Senior Jason Kelm, one of the students who helped put together the week-long celebration. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So why don't you tell me a little bit about this event, since it is the first time it's being held here?
Sure. MCJ Week is all about celebrating and highlighting the whole mass communication and journalism department and its 5 options, which are multimedia production, advertising, print journalism, broadcast journalism, and public relations.
Okay. And what are you most excited about?
Probably educating everyone who's not an MCJ major just about what everyone in the major is doing. The week's going to be full of education about the different options, student highlights and project showcases. We're going to have lots of different speakers and contests and activities, and a lot of fun that other students will be able to enjoy, as well as the students who are part of the options.
Okay, that's really cool. And what section were you in charge of?
I'm in charge of Multimedia Production Day, and that's on Monday, April 20th. The week is going to be next Monday through Friday, and there's going to be various events and activities. People can go to mcjweek.wordpress.com for information on all of the days and activities. And our event specifically is going to be able to have an industry panel with Adobe representatives and other multimedia production representatives from around the valley, like CMAC, Blair Media, Windsong Productions. Students will be able to interact with them, ask them questions, learn more about what's going on in the industry.
All right, well, thanks for being here today, and I hope all your hard work pays off. Make sure to stop by MCJ Week. It will take place April 20th through the 24th. Coming up in sports, how one championship wasn't enough. The Fresno State equestrian team strives to finish strong with the national title. Stay tuned for sports with Braden Williamson.
Good for you. But you were too insecure to show Fresno State pride? That's a problem. Because you never bothered to show pride in your school, you are shunned by other students. Professors can smell the stench of impending failure on you and take no pity. Even the mass communication students agree you have no future. But all of this could have been avoided if you simply showed your pride for Fresno State.
I am Fresno State.
Fresno State pride. Show it or face the consequences.
I am and always will be.
The Fresno State equestrian team is riding high after winning the UEC championship during spring break. Joshua Robinson tells us about their quest for another championship as they prepare to close out their season.
The Fresno State equestrian team won their conference championship on March 28th, taking time to honor their 9 graduating seniors at the event. Now the team heads to Waco, Texas for the NCEA tournament. For senior captain Kirsten McKillop, the tournament will be a bittersweet ending to her college career.
It's definitely sad. I'm ready to go out and do something, get a job and things like that, but I mean, at the end of the day, they're like 26 family members that I'm leaving here.
But make no mistake, McKillop's focus is on leading the team to winning the national championship. The captain has wins in 3 of the 4 events this season, something no other rider has accomplished at Fresno State since joining the NCAA.
She's a role model to everybody, not just the Western team, but the English team too. And us as coaches look up to her.
The Bulldogs enter the national championship tournament seeded 6th overall in the country, facing off against 11-seeded New Mexico State in the opening round. But the girls and their coaches don't see this tournament as the culmination of just one season. This is the stepping stone towards the future.
We have freshmen on the team that are some of our starters, and they don't know what's coming for them, but they're very excited for it. And it's a step towards bigger and better things.
Rachel Williams is one of the team's standout freshmen and one of 2 riders to win an All-American honors this year. She has high expectations for herself and her team while in Texas.
Everybody is really prepared to win this, but I don't know what to expect entirely, but from what everyone says, it's going to be pretty cool.
And whether the team captures a national title or not, McKillop knows that the future of Fresno State equestrian is in very capable hands.
They're young, they're very young, and I do think they have a lot to learn, but I mean, they're fully capable and they're so talented.
Joshua Robinson, Fresno State Focus.
The Fresno State softball team traveled to Utah State this past weekend to take on the Aggies. As you can see, there's still some snow up in the mountains, mainly because Paige Gumbs made it rain. Well, she hasn't made it rain yet. There's the mountains. And here is Paige Gumbs making it rain. Her 2-run shot in the 3rd inning made it 2-0. Very next inning, Kiara Willis was at the plate. Willis prefers E40 as her walkout music, and it looks like she's thinking, tell me when to go to the center field on this one. Her single would score Brenna Moss, making it 5-0 Dogs. The Dogs would go on to score 3 more runs in the inning to make it 8-0. Jill Compton was her typical self, holding the Aggies to 1 hit and striking out 5 as the Bulldogs would win this one and take the series 2-1. Fresno State is now tied for first place in the conference with San Diego State. They will host Boise State in a 3-game series which begins on Friday. Basketball season is in the rear view for many Fresno State fans with baseball, softball, and other sports in full effect. However, the Dogs are already looking forward to the 2016 season. Here to talk with us from the men's basketball team is sophomore forward Karachi Ito. How's it going, Karachi?
Oh, good.
So season 2 is in the books for you personally. So your guys' season ended a little bit shorter than what you guys may have wanted to, but how do you guys feel about your performance this year?
I feel like we came out. The conference was kind of hard, but we didn't back down to any competition. I mean, we beat some #1 team, like some teams that some people say we shouldn't have beaten, and we won some games that we should have won, and we lost some games that we should have won. So, I mean, I feel like we did great this season, but next season we should be better.
Yeah, you guys were always in every game. There was never really a game where another team just came and blew you guys out. So I actually follow you on Snapchat, so I get to see kind of behind the scenes a lot of the basketball players. I get to see sort of, your guys' goofy side. So how important is that, do you think, for the team to be so close off the court?
I mean, I feel like being a team on and off the court is one of the greatest aspects of being as a team together, because I mean, the Kentuckies, they always are they're always playing off the court. So I feel like we just need to have great team bonding with each other.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
And what's also important is fan support. And so throughout the year, the attendance was climbing, and then you could tell, like the Wyoming game in particular, the house was packed, and you guys fed off that. You played harder. So how important is that for you guys to come out every night with a packed house?
I felt like during the year, y'all gave out gifts and stuff like that. So I feel like that the fans made who we were. I mean, either if they didn't come out, we'll play bad, but we'll still win the game. So as them coming out, we was good.
Okay. All right. Well, we are definitely looking forward to you this next season. So thank you very much for coming over, Karachi.
No problem.
We've been talking with Karachi Ito from the men's basketball team. Well, that's it with sports. Back to Rodney and Silali.
Mona Ahmed has been going to Woodward Dog Park since 1989. She does everything she can to get donations to expand the dog park. Courtney Carvalho tells us more about what Ahmed does to help.
Mona Ahmed was inspired to expand the Woodward Dog Park by her German Shepherd Rex, who passed away in 2006. Every day, Ahmed leaves fresh flowers at a memorial bench on the trail in Woodward Park for Rex. Ahmed wants to help dogs in any way she can, whether it is expanding the dog park or helping owners train their dogs.
The dog park was here, so I said, you know what, maybe I can see what more I can do for Fresno. So it was adopt a dog park. So my friend and I got together and we decided to adopt this dog park.
Ahmed takes care of the dog park for the city of Fresno. She buys everything for the park and gets donations from people wanting to help out. Here at the dog park, Ahmed started something called memorial trees, where people who would bring their dogs regularly could plant a tree in remembrance of their beloved four-legged friends. James Bishel has known Ahmed for 16 years. He has been coming to this dog park since it was established.
But she's very good. She does a good job. She buys all the chairs for this place. A lot of charity work. All the money she makes doing things, it comes here to buy chairs.
Sharon Anderson has been coming to the dog park for 15 years. Anderson also helps with donations to expand the dog park. She also has a concern on rule enforcement.
Also to get the county or the city to enforce some more of the rules, especially with the people keeping their tags on so that you can see that the dogs are registered, knowing that they have their rabies shots.
Ahmed and regulars would love donations or anything that would help the Woodward Dog Park. Courtney Carvalho, Fresno State Focus.
Next week on Fresno State Focus, everyone's excited about what this year's Vintage Days has to offer.
Plus, hundreds of FFA students gather for the annual state convention in downtown Fresno.
Also, a Fresno State softball player becomes the second Bulldog ever to get picked in the National Pro Fast Pitch Draft.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.